How are you, my friends? In this video, I would like to continue the series Basic Math Terms, Part 8. As you can see here in the first slide, Part 8 will clarify basic math terms in equations. So there are many words. I will present here 13 words in equations. If you like to go and see other parts in this basic math terms, you can go and visit the playlist called Basic Math Terms. So these are the terms that we are going to discuss in part 8 about equations. What is an equation? It's important to know the definition of equation. Solution of the equation. Roots are the solutions also. Quadratic equations, cubic equations, polynomial. Discriminant, there is a word here important in math. Discriminant, and then completing the square, quadratic formula. Also, here we see solution set. Sometimes we write SS. It means solution set when you solve the equation. Now let's go. What is an equation? Equation can be defined as mathematical statement consisting of an equal symbol between two algebraic expressions that have the same value. It's not difficult. It means there is an expression on the left, expression on the right. You can put any expression you like, put between them equal. You have to have equal to say this is an equation. Now, if you need to see the exact meaning of expression or algebraic expression, please go to Basic Math Terms, Part 1. Now let's see, this is an equation. I will not read all this. 10x minus 7 is equal to 31. Another equation with fractions. We can have degree 2 equals 0. We can have power 4. We can have cube. We can have any kind of equation. This is an equation. Equations, they have solutions, or sometimes there is no solution. Equation means there is a problem here. We have to solve the equation. Sometimes we can find one solution, two solutions, three solutions, infinity of solutions sometimes. Sometimes there is no solution. You can expect anything. It depends on the equation. Now, how many types of equations? We have many types. Remember always, before I start, important statements in mathematics. Remember three things, please. Expressions can be simplified. So when you have an expression, the only thing you can do in the expression is to simplify it. Or if you have numbers inside, you can find the value. You can see the video here, Basic Math Terms, Part 1. You will see about expressions. Now equations, this is Part 8. Equations can be solved. Yes, you can simplify the equation, but at the end, you have to find the value of x, the value of y, the value of any variable there. Functions can be graphed. See the video on functions, Basic Math Terms, Part 12 about functions. So please, this is very important slide. Just know the meaning between expressions, equations, and functions. Now, as I mentioned, we have many types of equations. Let's take the easiest type of equation. We call it linear equation or linear equation. First degree. When you say first degree, the power on the variable, you see here in red, the power on the variable is 1. See, as you can see here, x power 1. See, that's a linear equation. If you have 2x squared, it's not a linear. We will see it in the next slide. It's called quadratic. Now this is a linear because the power is 1. You see an example here. Minus 7x plus 2 is equal 19. See, we look at x. The important thing here is the variable x. power 1, so this is linear equation. Let's see, we have the variable k. K minus 6 equals 0. So k has power 1, yes, it's a linear. 4t plus 5 equals minus 88. See, t has power 1. So this is a linear equation. Let's see the second one, quadratic. Please know the word quadratic. Quadratic means, it's not easy word, it means second degree equation. So the highest power here is 2. So we can have ax squared plus bx plus c. Even x we can have, but the highest power is 2 or squared. These are 4 examples here. See, I put different variables, k and m and x and y. So we can have this one 7k squared minus 5k is equal 4. You know, in this video, I'm not solving all the equations. I will give you some examples. I think I will give you 2 examples here. But you can see other videos on quadratic equations, linear equation, how to solve it, how many methods, etc. Another equation we can have 2m minus 1 squared is equal to 9. This is a quadratic. This is also quadratic, minus 3x squared minus 31x plus 12. This is also quadratic. See, quadratic means related to the power second degree. Now, this is quadratic is very important equation. It comes almost everywhere in math. That's why I put separate slide here. You can see the video on solving quadratic equations in algebra course. There is the playlist called Algebra Course Lectures, and you can see the lecture there on quadratic equations. There you can see this slide, 4 methods. See, I cannot explain the 4 methods now. I'm just mentioning the name. Factoring is one way we can solve it. Square root property is another method we can use. Completing the square is another method. Quadratic formula is another method. Now it takes time to explain all these methods, but you have to know quadratic equation, second degree, you have 4 ways to do it at least. Now, I will mention method 3 and method 4 just quickly. Completing the square. To complete the square, you have to use the word leading coefficient. See, leading, LC, leading coefficient. You can see the video on basic math terms, part 1. I explained in details what is a coefficient, what is a leading coefficient. Now, the leading coefficient is the coefficient here of the x squared. So this is minus 3, see? Minus 3. So we have to leave this leading coefficient, LC, we have to make it 1. So just divide by minus 3, divide by minus 3, divide by minus 3. You get x squared minus 6x is equal minus 7. Now take half the coefficient. Now I'm explaining the method completing the square. But if you need to see more examples, you have to go to algebra course. So we take half the coefficient of x. So minus 6, take half of it is minus 3. Square it. Minus 3 squared is 9. You can add 9 and 9. You see, add to this equation on both sides. Now this one becomes perfect squared or completed squared here. X minus 3 squared is equal to 9. Then take the square root of both sides. You can find the value for x. So this is the way to solve quadratic. Remember here, we are solving quadratic only, this quadratic here, power 2. Quadratic formula, this is method number 4. I think everybody knows this formula, nice formula, x is equal minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. See this value here, b squared minus 4ac, some books they call it capital D, some books they call it delta, but it is called the discriminant. B squared minus 4ac is called the discriminant. That's the number under the radical. See, it's not included with the radical here. It's under the radical. B squared minus 4ac is called discriminant. If D is positive or 0 or negative. We have three cases. If this is positive, the number is positive, we have two real solutions. If the discriminant is 0, one solution. We can say repeated or doubled. If this is negative number, b squared minus 4ac, if it is negative number, we have two complex, non-real solutions. Now, in the quadratic equations, we have sum and product, nice formulas here. Sum and product formulas only for quadratic equations. See, if you have this equation squared, remember you have to have squared, second degree. These are the solutions by using quadratic formula. You can try, please, by yourself. If you add x1 plus x2, you will get this formula, minus b over a. Believe it or not, when you add this and this, you will get minus b over a. That's the green one here is a new formula. It's called the sum of the solutions or the sum of the roots, minus b over a. This one, also you can multiply x1 times x2. It will take time, I know, but you get the answer c over a, believe it or not. You will get the product of x1 times x2, c over a. Now these are formulas you can remember always. But remember, these formulas are related only to quadratic equations. Let's continue the types. See, we finished linear equation, quadratic equation, now cubic. What is a cubic? From the word cube, so that's a third degree. See this one here, I will not read this, just see it please. X cubed something is equal 19, squared cube x, squared x 17, x cubed x squared x plus 1 is equal 0. Any equation, remember equation means equal, 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 equal. You should have an equal in the equation. If there is no equal, we call it expression, or also algebraic expression. Okay, now that's a cubic equations, not easy to solve, but now I'm just explaining the terms or the words. Polynomial equation. Polynomial, see from the word polynomial equation that has multiple terms. The degree can be cube or 2 or 1 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 10. So the highest exponent or the highest power is the degree. See like this one here. Big, nice equation. My God. 5x to the power 6, etc. power 4 squared and x plus 100 is equal 0. Not easy to solve, but you can find here 6 solutions. You can check algebra course, maybe in the later lectures, how to solve such an equation. Let's see other types of equations. We have many types of equations. I just mentioned here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, other than the other ones. Absolute value, we call it equation. See, there's an equal. X minus 77 in the absolute value is equal to 12. Exponential equation, something the x in the power. See, that's in pre-calculus, of course, you can see that. Logarithmic equation, log in a base 10 of something. Trigonometric equation, sine squared, we can have tan, secant, sine, cosine. Matrix equation, we can have a matrices, matrix plus matrix is equal matrix, find x and y, etc. We have so many types of equations, but remember in the equation, we should have equal, and then we can solve it. Let's see question number 1. Let's take one of the easiest equation on earth, solve the linear equation. You can pause the video a little. I think you can do this. 5x minus 2 bracket 3 minus x plus 4x is equal minus 72 plus 4 bracket x minus 1. Since we have an equation here, see, equation with equal, we can say solve. If there is no equal, we cannot say solve. Okay, did you try? Did you get a value for x? Okay, let's see. x is equal minus 10. Did you get that? I hope. Let's go quickly here. Minus 2 times the 3 is minus 6. Minus 2 minus 6 plus 2x, you remember? Minus 2 minus x. And here 4x, 4 minus 2 is minus 4. Add the values, 5x, 2x is 7x. 7x, and here 4x. See, 4x is cancelled. Minus 6, take it to the other side, becomes 6. So that's minus 70. When you simplify everything, you get 7x is equal minus 70. Divide by 7, because we need x. X is minus 10, so I write SS. SS means solution set. So this is the term here. We are explaining the solution of the equation. To make sure, this is extra stuff, to make sure this solution is correct, you can go back to the original. See the question here in the slide. This is the original. Put here minus 10. If you get the right side is equal to the left side, we call this check. Now there is no need to check in this equation, but some other equations you have to check. Now this one there is no need, but it's better if you have time, check it to make sure this is the correct answer. Let's see another one. Solve the equation by quadratic formula. X squared is equal to 4x plus 3. Now you have to remember the quadratic formula. Do you remember that? X equals minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. Before you do the quadratic formula, you have to do something here. You know that? You have to rearrange. See x squared, you bring 4x on this side with the minus, bring the 3 on the other side with the minus, equals 0. You can pause the video for a few seconds if you like to try, and then you can check the next slide. Okay, finished now? Let's see. Now remember here the word rearrange. See, this is the word here, important, rearrange. This one, this is the given here, you see? It is not arranged. Rearranged, so we need the coefficients. These are the coefficients. When you rearrange, A is 1. See, that's the coefficient in the leading. B is minus 4. C is minus 3. So now you find discriminant. Remember the word discriminant. B squared minus 4AC. So it will be 16 plus 12, 28. I write here in the discriminant, 28 is positive. That means I have two solutions. Both of them are real. Now here you have to go through the numbers. So easy to check. I put all the details for you. Minus B, this is 4. 2A is 2 times 1. 28 is 4 times 7. Take 2 out. And then take a common factor here. And then you can cancel the 2. So the final answer, 2 plus or minus square root of 7. Easy, nice question. Now, usually I leave some practice. Very nice to practice on this one. Solve the equation. That's a linear. Why linear? You know the answer? Because the power on the B is 1. And then there's another practice. Solve by using quadratic formula as we did in question number 2. You find here the answers, solution set, practice 1 and 2. Now, thank you for watching. I hope I can see you in another video with another topic. Thank you very much.